it went like that I was sponsored in PhD for the first time in that 50 years. And they said, you just help us when we have a problem. You can go to university, you can go to office, whatever you like. But whenever we have problem, you solve, you help us. I define success as myself being happy solving the problem.
Right.
I should be happy. Always result does not come. I love to read Vivekananda Ramakrishna literature.
Lovely.
So I read a lot of books. Every day I read.
All right, everybody, welcome back to our StartupLanes platform, where we interview movers and shakers in the ecosystem of StartupLanes, where we have funded approximately 128 startups with an investment portfolio of about 350 crores. Today, we have an exciting personality. His name is Mr. Arup Saha. He has been the COO of Minex Metallurgical Private Limited. And he is here to speak with us regarding his professional journey. We will get to know him, not just his professional life, but also him as a person, his values, his ethics. And I'm sure you'll take away a lot at the end of this session. So without any further ado, let's get started. I am Geet here. I'm the Vice President, and I am so excited that you are all here to hear us speak more about Arup Saha ji. So welcome to StartupLanes, Mr. Arup ji. We are so excited and humbled that you took out precious time out of your busy schedule to give these precious few minutes to us.
I am humbled.
Thank you. Thank you. So first off, Arup ji, I would like to know if you can take us back to the time when you graduated as a fresh, college graduate, bursting with energy. How did you get into, knowing what you wanted to do? How did you tread your path? Take us back through your entire professional journey and take a few minutes to elaborate just a little bit.
Well, practically, I did not know anything and I didn't have any plan. I graduated in 1986 from Jadavpur University in Metallurgical Engineering. And by campus interview, I got a job in Aluminum Canada, Alcan. And that was even prior finishing the exams, they made me to join. And after joining, I had no idea what to do. It's an aluminum company of great experts for last 50 years. And I read only a few pages of aluminum metallurgy in the book. So I had zero confidence. And then my boss called. He said, when were you born? I said, 1964. He said, oh, that is the year I passed out. So my confidence was even lower. So I have no experience, and this man has equivalent experience of my age. And what I'll do in this company. And a few days passed by, then industrial ragging started. So industrial ragging is, we were given a problem. I was given a problem which the company could not solve for 5 years. Okay. Obviously, they did not expect me to solve.
So they gave you a problem as a fresher. You were a fresher and you were given this problem.
Yes, and 5 years old problem. So they thought this guy will fail and his confidence will reduce, because I joined in a very senior position. As per people who were retiring from that position, I joined at that rank. And then by God's grace, I solved that problem. So they were shocked. They said, what is this? We could not solve this for 5 years, and this guy has no idea and no knowledge, and he solved this problem. Then I was given a problem which was not solved in 100 years in aluminum industry all over the world. And they were again pretty sure that I will not be able to solve. But again, by God's grace, I developed a unique process by which the problem was solved. So then they took notice. They said, this guy is different. Well, we didn't have such a good engineer in last 5 years at least. Then it went like that I was sponsored in PhD for the first time in that 50 years. And they said, you just help us when we have a problem. You can go to university, you can go to office, whatever you like. But whenever we have problem, you solve, you help us. So I solved a lot of problems for that plant and other plants in the Alcan system. So it was a very great journey, and I had a very nice boss. One of your questions was, who was the person whom we are grateful? Well, my first boss, Shubhankar Gupta, See, all my life I have seen if my boss is more talented than me, then I have no problem. But if my boss is less talented and feels threatened, then I have problem. So this guy was very confident, very knowledgeable, and he was supportive, very supportive. So I had all these wild ideas where I was asking to try out things that were not tried by anybody in 100 years. And he supported me. With his support only, I could do all these experiments. And I earned a very good name. Then there was an opportunity in Dubai Aluminium in Dubai. And some 89 people applied from all over India, from all big companies, Nalco, Balco, Hindalco, Indal. So I was the only one chosen there out of 89 people. So that was a big break. The salary was increased by, I think, some 17 times or something. Again, I landed up in a country where I joined in a position where no Indian has joined. It was all Arabs and the British or the Americans.
And where was this?
So I was, this was in 1990.
1990.
So people were shocked that how this fellow has joined in this company in such a big position where we were struggling, even from IIT, we were struggling at a lower position for years together. Again, same thing happened. Practically, I was not given any job. I found out my own job, and they had some problems which they could not solve for 10 years from the beginning of the company. So, and they had put millions of dollars, they have already spent millions of dollars to solve that problem. And they had put millions of dollars to solve the problem for the budget also. Then on my own, I did some root cause study and experiments and found out that they are going in a different direction. It's a completely wrong direction. So I told them that you are going to a wrong direction and this is my solution. The report was so controversial that my British boss and his British boss did not publish the report. That because if they publish a report, then they will be asked what you are doing for last 10 years. Because this guy is telling something completely different than what you have been telling for last 10 years. Though the report was not published, the solution was tried out and the solution worked. So the problem was solved.
I think you were always like a problem solver right from the beginning of your career. You wanted to solve problems.
Correct. So then in Bahrain, there's a company which is even 10 years older, Aluminium Bahrain. So they got me in an even higher position and even higher salary. From 70,000, I jumped to 110,000 in 1993. So in that company, again, they had 20 years old company, 20 years old problems. They could not solve it. Again, I did not solve in the first day. I also struggled. I looked at the problem, looked at the data. And again, after 6-7 months, I cracked the solution. But this time, the reaction was different. Everybody became very upset because it proved that they were telling lies for last 20 years. So people were
everybody
very
turns against you. Or there must have been a resentment against you in the company. Like people must be having that. Yeah, it happens all the time in the corporate world. Yes.
So I solved 3 problems there. And I was shocked that my contract was not renewed. You asked me whether I had setbacks or not. This was my first setback in my life. That I did wonderfully well, rather than better than anybody expected. And the reward was my contract was not renewed. But one person left that company and joined in a almost CEO position in a company called Balexco. He has seen me solving the problems which in his time, last 20 years, it could not be solved. So much before I knew that my contract is not renewed, he called me. He said, Arup, I understand your contract will not be renewed because there's a politics, but don't worry, you join me.
God closes one door so that another door is open. God is always watching over us. Once our conscience is clear, it's going to be a...
Very good. Then I joined that company, Balexco, Bahari Aluminium Extrusion. It's also a very famous company, old company. And they had some problems. And I solved those problems in first 8 months or 9 months. Then they suddenly offered me a CEO position of their sister company. I said, see, I am not a management guy. I am a plain metallurgist and I have no background in finance. How I can become a CEO? He says, see, the company is not doing well, which we are offering to you. And nobody is able to understand what is the problem. What we have understood in you is you can understand what is the problem and you can come up with a solution. And that's enough. We are all here to help you. You become a CEO. So I think at the age of 29, I became a CEO.
Oh, wow. At the age of 29, you said?
Yeah. Yes. So that was ridiculous. That was support from the bosses because they said that we could not solve these problems for 20 years. And this guy has come and 6-7 months, he has solved this problem. So let's give him a chance. And that company had a lot of problems. And I can tell you a story. I joined on the second day or third day. I got a fax from Kuwait that the building is ready and we were unable to supply the powder coated aluminum extrusions in right time. So people who have signed contract to stay in that building, they are not being able to move in because if the windows are not there, AC cannot work, and without AC, nobody can stay in Kuwait. So we had to pay for the entire hotel expenses, food and accommodation for all those people moving in the building. And obviously, my boss, the group CEO, was very upset and he said, this is the situation we are in. That's why you have been brought. And again, by God's grace, it's a long story how I solved those problems. And within 6-7 months, it got all streamlined. We had huge production and no production order backlogs and things like that. So that was my stint in Gulf. By that time, I got married. I had a daughter. My daughter was growing up and I had personal problems also. My mother was a widow and I was the only son. My wife was the only child. So we decided to come back to India.
Okay.
So we came back and joined, I joined Hindalco. Okay. Hindalco had spent more than few $1 million to put up a plant in Renukut, the first wax stuff casting unit in two casting units in Renukut. And for 1 year, they were struggling. They were unable to stabilize that plant, run the plant properly, quality, and all sorts of issues, cost. So they called me, they were after me for 1 year in Bahrain, that you come back and help us, you help your country and all those sorts. So again, I came back and stabilized the company, trained the people of what to do and what is the theory, what are the practices, what are the standard operating procedures. So again, I became famous. So Vedanta at that time was called Starlight. So they purchased Balco and in 2001, and they were struggling for 1 year. It was a loss-making company, and they were still making bigger and bigger loss. So after 1 year, they again called me. They said, we will give you 5 times salary. You please leave Hindalco and join us.
Oh.
So again, I left.
So inspiring.
Well, it's all luck. I have bad days and good days, both. So I left Hindalco and joined Starlight, Balco. So there I joined initially as a quality head of entire mines, alumina, smelter, rolling mills, casting, power plant and all. But soon they made me the business head of the casting, rolling, extrusion part.
I see.
So that was interesting. They have never exported before. And they didn't have confidence.
And this was in India, right, Arupji? This was in India.
Yes.
Where in India specifically?
In Korba, Chhattisgarh.
Acha, Chhattisgarh. Okay.
Korba, yeah. It's a place called Korba in Chhattisgarh. So they never exported earlier than that because they said our material is so bad that it cannot be exported. I said, no, we have the equipment to make aerospace grade material and defense grade material. They said, we never told. We started in 1975 And in
Okay.
2002, you are telling that we have the equipment to produce these things. I said, yes. So after 27, 28 years, we started producing those material and we started
And
exporting
this was
all over
done
the
under
world.
your leadership. All of
Yes,
this
yes.
happened under your leadership.
All of them, 100%.
Wow.
So we started exporting to Italy, Germany, UK, France, Holland, Nigeria, Kenya, and we supplied the first aluminum for ISRO from India, and we supplied the material for BrahMos missile also. So it was
That's
great
amazing. It
satisfaction.
must have been in the papers. I'm sure ki wahan
Yes,
par-
yes, it was in the papers.
it must have been in the papers, and this was a big deal, I suppose, at that point
very
of
big
time.
deal.
Very
Very
big deal.
Because at
Brilliant.
that time, you won't believe, after the Pokhran 2 blast, India
Yes.
was not allowed to purchase good kind of aluminum and things like that. So we produced whatever aluminum was required for the country, which was not allowed. We are not allowed to buy. So we produced all these, and I was rewarded by ISRO. They invested huge money in Balco so that the facility can be augmented.
That's lovely, lovely, lovely to know. So many anecdotes. I'm already so inspired by just listening. I feel like half of your story. It's an incredible journey from the time that you knew like you considered yourself that you knew like zero, and from the time you're narrating this, it's like a whole another person that has been reborn through the different roles that you have played in various organizations. This is so inspiring.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, in Dubai, in my first appraisal, I always thought I know nothing, or I know very little. My British boss wrote,
yes.
My British boss wrote in my appraisal, excellent knowledge in aluminium. I was surprised how I can have excellent knowledge. I know almost as simple as everybody else.
Yes.
But then he said, no, then all
I
this
think we undermine ourselves. Because
Yeah.
I think we have to realize that what we bring to the table, our own self-worth and confidence in our own abilities, because the world around us is not designed to make us happy. In fact, it's designed to make us depressed. When you look at others, or when you look at somebody who is at a better position or something. But I think when you have like the self-confidence and your belief in yourself and your own capabilities, I think you can achieve what you have done in your life. So I feel like,
well, I had a lot of failures also.
No, but I think we all have failures. But the way that you have, rose like a phoenix from what you started as, like, that's amazing. And I'm definitely going to imbibe all of that in my life. And I don't feel that good about myself. I'm going to use some of your things that I have, kind of integrated in my life through this talk.
Especially when we did all this for the country, it was a great satisfaction. We made aluminium by which you can make bridges very fast within few minutes, and the tank can go on it. This was not produced in India ever. So when you produce this and you know that this will be used by your army, and we produce aluminium for Navy, we produce aluminium for the tanks. It was great satisfaction.
Right.
But then my second setback came. I became so famous that people started going to complain to the group CEO that we can do better than Arup Saha. So remove him and give me a chance. So management finally listened to somebody that, okay, we must give others chance also. Why Arup Saha is taking all the credit and he is so famous. So I was shunted. So then I moved as a CEO of a steel company in Chennai, Sujana Metal Products Limited. So there the first question was, you have worked in aluminium all over your life. What do you know about steel? Just because management wants, they have made you a CEO, basically you don't know anything. I said, okay, I don't know anything. Then all over the world, there's an accepted thing that if you preheat steel for rolling or something or forging, you will lose 2% burning loss. That is acceptable all over the world.
Okay.
So one day I told that spread some charcoal on that. They said, why we have a oil fired furnace, why we should be going more primitive, and why we should spread charcoal. I said, spread it, then we will see. Then the group CEO asked that managing director, he said, what is your theory? I said, see, oxygen is eating away our steel, which is 58 rupees kg, and charcoal is 3 rupees kg. I want to put charcoal in the furnace so that oxygen reacts with charcoal, not with the steel. That will reduce the burning loss. So they said, see, this idea has not come in the world for last 3,000 years, because steel is produced for 3,000 years from China. Do you think you are so smart that you have thought of something which nobody has thought in the last 3,000 years? I said, I don't know, but let us try. Give us permission. Right. So that permission was given and burning loss was reduced drastically. So my daughter was in school at that time. She calculated if the whole world follows this practice, we can save $64 billion a year. So these type of things, which are very simple, very basic. I feel if people know the basic well, basic chemistry, basic metallurgy, basic physics, yes, and work honestly, then they can achieve wonders. No need to be a great expert or great management expert. See, almost 20 years I have worked as a CEO of different companies, and everywhere I have become the most successful man in the history. And I have I have some training in management from IIM Ahmedabad and Gyanodaya, but not a MBA degree. But still, we could achieve. See, if you're honest, if you love your people, if you're selfless, that is most important, I feel. The leader must be selfless. Yes. If you're selfless and honest, very transparent to your people, success will come. And you must be a good listener. See, if you're listening well, you must encourage your people to give ideas. You should be bottom-driven, not top-driven. See, most of the companies I have seen, the boss give instructions and others follow. And there the failure comes. Yes. It should be other way around. The subordinate should give ideas, because who are in the shop floor, they know best. They should give the ideas of what to do. And then the management should, with their maturity, with their inputs, they should decide which idea is best.
Correct. Absolutely.
Because one person cannot think more than 100%, however intelligent can be. But in many companies, I have seen the owner or the group MD or the CEO has a wrong notion that since I am in this position, I know better than you.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I completely resonate with that. And I've seen that in different organizations in the past as well. So I know where you're coming from. All right. So for the sake of time, we'll have to move a little bit quickly because we are short on time.
No problem.
Yes. So as you mentioned, you have already discussed about your professional achievements in this, facet of your entire career span. But I would like to know that, what is your definition of success? How do you define success at the end of the day?
I define success as myself being happy solving the problem.
Right.
I should be happy. Always result does not come. But I should be happy that I have tried my best. Selflessly, and nothing more I could have done.
Nothing more.
See, not always we'll get success. Yes. I had tried my best to make my bosses happy, but I could not. Whenever my boss was not confident, saw me as a threat, I had problems. Whenever I had a boss who was more qualified or more talented, or at least equally talented, then I had great support from them, because they always counted me as a big support.
Yes, got it. Having a good boss is so wonderful. Such a wonderful gift, I feel, for everybody in the organization. So another thing that I would like to ask is, do you have like a favorite author or any genre of books that you like to read in your spare time? You're a Bengali. Do you have like any affinity to singing or Rabindra Sangeet or anything of that sort?
See, I love to read Vivekananda Ramakrishna literature.
Lovely.
So I read a lot of books. Every day I read of that. And management books sometimes, yes. The Goal is my favorite book on theory of constraints. That is a very good book.
I've heard that. Can you repeat that again for our viewers? It's called Theory of
Goal. G-O-A-L, Goal. And it is free or available. And there's a second sequel, It's Not Luck. It's an excellent book. If you are a CEO, it helps you a lot.
I will definitely keep that in mind for my future goals. And if you could just narrate us your daily routine, your dincharya, how do you keep up? I'm sure in your career span, you might have to, make tough decisions. How do you keep your mind mentally strong and body physically agile? Do you have like a mindfulness routine, a walk, or how do you get that thing in?
I was captain of West Bengal table tennis team, and I used to play chess also.
Lovely,
So
lovely.
still I play table tennis. So that is my physical exercise. I swim also, and I meditate in the morning and evening.
Yes, that's so required. Thank you for sharing that. Another thing that I would like to know is that apart from table tennis, how do you spend time with your family? What do you do on weekends? Just a little glimpse
travel.
into your life apart from
We
work.
travel and we eat. We are food
you
lovers.
love travel.
So you cannot maintain your physique with my eating habits. That is a problem. But I eat.
What do you
Wherever there's
like
a good
eating?
food,
What do you like
Yeah.
especially? Do you like rasagullas or what?
No. Not so sweet. Not so sweet things.
What do you like? Tell me one dish.
Non-veg dishes, French dishes,
Lovely,
biryani
lovely.
also.
Biryani, great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And where do you like traveling to? Or what's your best place that you have traveled and you have incredible memories from that place?
See, I have traveled 5 times to Italy. That's a great place. France also I like very much. You feel very much at home there. The people
In
take
France.
care of it. I know French also, so probably because of that reason or whatever, I got
Oh, lovely.
unbelievable support in
Bonjour.
France.
Lovely,
Bonjour,
lovely.
bonjour.
I hope to go to France someday. I've been seeing pictures of south of France and all of that. So beautiful. Lovely.
Very helpful people.
Very helpful people, yeah. And very fit as well. I've seen they eat so much of cheese and alcohol and whatnot, but they're super fit. I wonder how.
They walk a lot,
They
unbelievable.
walk a lot. Yeah, I've heard that. They walk a lot. They walk everywhere. Last but not the least, how do people stay connected to you? How do people get inspired by you? How can they reach you?
See, people can reach me anytime because I delegate a lot. I have a lot of free time. And second thing is, since I always tell the truth, they have great faith in me. They know if this fellow cannot help, he will tell.
Yes.
This fellow at least not cheat. This I feel is very, very important. If a boss tells a lie, then his truth also cannot be believed.
Yes.
But if one person constantly tells the truth, then people will believe you.
Yes.
I have seen people have complained against me to somebody, senior or somebody. They say, I have seen him for last 5 years or 30 years.
Your credibility is established.
So that's very important to have credibility. And wherever in the world people have a problem in aluminum, they consult me. So I'm a consultant now for all over the world.
So do you consult like different companies or do you help with the hiring?
Companies.
Different companies.
Different companies.
Great.
Anybody has a problem or wants to improve his current plant, current business, I help them.
Great. Thank you so much, Arupji, for sharing that precious insight. I am so inspired here, by listening to your journey, your thoughts, and your entire, life in general. So thank you so much. I hope our audience gets to take so much of good information, so much inspiration and motivation to propel them in their unique career journeys ahead. So thank you so much for watching us here at Startup Lanes. This is Geet, Vice President at StartupLanes, signing off. I hope to see you another time with another incredible personality on our platform. Until then, namaste.